Welcome back, saucers.
Welcome back, loyal fans.
We have
and mom and dad.
Mostly mom and dad.
Mostly mom and dad.
But thanks to you, our fans, mom and dad, we've made it to our 50th episode. And we couldn't have done it without our most loyal fans, mom and dad.
Mom and dad.
No, guys,
but
we
really,
do have more people than that out there. And we are so thankful for those who have been sticking by us.
Yes.
And
because it's been a wild effing ride. And when we first started, I don't know why I chose to censor myself right there when I never censor myself on this. Here we are. Okay.
What the F has been going on this year? This year has been feckin' weird.
Freaking crazy. But I do want to say, you know, when quarantine started and like 9 months ago and we're like, oh, weird, we're going to have to do some of these over Zoom. That's been most of our podcast at this point because we started January 20th.
Yeah.
And I just want to take a little bit of a trip down memory lane for listeners. I'm sure a lot of you have been listening from the start because you know us and you're friends and you're the real ones. But maybe we've picked up some listeners who like don't actually know us personally.
Yeah. I mean, we do. We have some listeners from out of the country that we don't know. Shout out France.
We have like France, Australia,
listeners in France,
Spain, Bahrain. What up? We got some people. We got a lot of international listeners, and that makes me so happy.
I love that, and I think London
because at some point I plan on just dipping the fuck out of this country because it's getting crazy over here. Mm-hmm. So to know that we have people abroad who maybe will like hook us up with like a night's stay, you know what I mean? Just get my feet.
We'll test beforehand. We're not diseased. We'll vaccinate ourselves.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah, we'll yeah. I forgot about the worldwide pandemic
because I don't think we're allowed. No one wants us.
But like, I got a black market hookup for a lot of things.
Oh,
so. Yeah.
You can stuff me in your carry-on. Someone just take me. Take me.
You are the right size.
Anyway, but yeah, this is our 50th episode, and we just want to update you guys on our journey on this year and basically like what our hopes and dreams are for how we grow this thing. We won't bore you with you know, minute details on our
like the origin stories of both of us, like Marvel goes in depth with their characters.
I think it was a week ago,
back in 1989,
a week ago, 2 weeks ago, where we had the conversation after you were let go. And then a week or a few days after that, which was, I think,
wait, are you you mean a year
ago? Yeah.
Are you talking about a year ago, not a week ago?
A year ago, a week ago.
Yes. Yeah, we're almost exactly at a year ago.
What is time?
And then I got fired from my job. And then I was like, what? And then Alyssa was like, what? And then Alyssa came over to my apartment and we were like, what? And then we had wine and pizza, and we were like, why do we not just do what we've been talking about doing?
Yeah.
Now that I don't have a job and you still had a job, but I still pressured you into doing this with me. Not really.
No, it just, and I always told people, and people still ask me, like, how do you feel like doing a podcast? Like, how is it? And I'm just like, you know, my first instinct is always to say I love having creative control over something because as an actor, you don't, unless you write for yourself, and more power to those who write for themselves. But I just don't have that patience.
Yeah.
You just don't have any creative control. You have zero control, and it's all up to the fates. And it's just rejection. Maybe you book something and then rejection. And you just get used to it. It's just like a whatever. But it's very much like you are in an abyss, not flexing any creative muscles, especially now because COVID, you can't take acting classes really, and COVID. So you're just, but not necessarily we knew COVID was going to happen. Maybe we did. I don't know.
Maybe we did. Maybe that. Honestly, my whole our whole lives changed. Everybody's did, but then even on a microscopic level, because I got fired, and then we started this whole thing, and this is, I have to say, like, my mini little love letter to you, because the fact that I just couldn't imagine doing this with somebody else because of how we're both so equally dedicated to it, and we have, and the motivate, like, we drive each other. We've said this multiple times to each other, but if yeah, we could do this on our own, but really what keeps us going half the time is, like, I know that I get to, especially during a pandemic, it's like I get to see you regularly over Zoom, but whatever, and have these in-depth, like, deep conversations that we would have as friends at a happy hour normally, but the world is shut down. And even my best friends, like, none of us just call every week religiously and have an hour or two conversation about, like, important things with people.
Yeah, life happens.
But you and I we made that commitment together, and then it just became a thing of, it just kept us going, and you kept me going, and I love you so much.
Oh my God, I love you so much. I know. I to piggyback off that, which is such a Zoom thing to say. I mean, not only getting to see you, but I get so excited for every episode because I get to share, like, thoughts with you, and just like, what is Molly going to think about this? And just like, we're always, when we're interviewing guests, and we're always thinking the same thing, and we're always, like, knowing what to say, and then afterwards we're just like, that was amazing, and that, like, I wish we asked this, or like, oh my God, this reminded me, we should interview this person, like, this person gave me inspiration. We're always on the same page, which is just so rare. And
it is, and it's really fun because we also, both of us, are made of the same cloth in terms of our passion about social justice issues and, like, women's rights and racism and all these things that are really close to our heart that we feel really strongly about. And because that's who we are collectively, it has just worked its way into our podcast in a very organic way. We talk about a lot of these issues, but we're also just weirdos, and we get weird and goofy, and it's just become, watching it evolve as we are creating it simultaneously, it's like taking on a life of its own. But the longer it evolves, the more it reflects who we actually are, each of us as people, and that's really fun. Wait, that's probably what it's like to raise a child.
We are raising a child together.
We are raising a child who increasingly resembles us.
Which is ideal.
Which is the dream.
Yeah, I mean, this year has been so wild. And to start a new project, like, right at the cusp of it, and have to adapt really quickly, is such a test, but also a testament to what we're passionate about.
Yeah.
And I hope that comes through in our episodes. If you're just listening right now, that means you're here for a reason, and we fucking love you. And
even if your reason is because you gave birth to us.
Yeah, we fucking love you, Mom. We do it for Mom. But side note, I really want to share this because this is just going to roast us on our Instagram the week this airs. But there was this TikTok, Molly, I needed to send this to you, but it was a guy who was doing an impression of the caption was like, an impression of anybody who starts a podcast. And it's this person going, we should just start a podcast. I mean, we just do this all the time. We just talk. We just need to do this. I mean, like, no one's talking about the things that we're talking about. We just have to do it. We just have to. People want to listen to us. People are. I'm just Googling it right now. No, I'm Googling it right now. I'm Googling microphones right now. No, we're doing this. And I'm like, holy fuck, this guy roasted our fucking lives. I have to send this to you.
Yeah,
and you will, and our fans will know this. And
he did it, but also no regrets.
And also, to be fair, I mean, it's so fucking funny, but to be fair, it's like, that's how all podcasts start.
It is.
And, you should do it.
Right. Like, literally anybody, it's not, when people, what the biggest or the most common comment that Alyssa and I have both received and continue to receive separately, like not even together all the time, but as people, when they talk about our podcast, it's like, wow, I'm so impressed with how consistent you guys have been, and just like really, she and I, like, I remember the first thing when we were researching actually like how to launch a podcast and we were doing a lot of research, and everywhere the first and biggest thing that was consistent through everything was be consistent, because at the end of the day, it's like you could have great things to talk about, but if you have an episode one Monday, you have it the next Monday, and people are like, oh, they check the next Monday and it's not there, and they go the next week and it's not there, and a month goes by and then maybe there's one. I mean, listen, for me, new podcasts that I'm not even familiar with yet, and they just stop posting, and then they have another one, I'm not gonna check anymore. Yeah. And so it was like we both just decided, like, of all the other things, that has to be it. Like, we got to do this every week. This is every single week. And we started January 20th. We released 3 episodes. That was our launch. We released 3 at once, but we haven't missed a single week all year. I
kind of want to, like, this is a little tidbit of just like, I don't know if anyone cares, but whatever. This is SOS lore right here. How we came up with our name. You want to share that? How we came up with our name? Like, really quickly. Yeah. We never talked about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was very vague. Do you remember?
I mean, I remember it happening, but I don't remember.
So it was like a year ago. I feel like, a year ago.
It was a year ago. We were sitting at a cafe.
Yep. And then we were just like jotting down everything we want to talk about, which is just everything, obviously. But, you know, to be really focused on social justice and learning and keep educating ourselves on things that we might not know or think we know. But but we kept thinking, you know, it's social justice issues that are passionate about us, but we are also artists coming from a place of like working in the service industry and wanting to break out of that and have creative control, you know, and talk about artists and everything like that and highlight stories like that. And which is so funny because that's where we're at right now for other reasons. It's just so funny. If you like a year ago when we were talking about like, oh, we can't wait to leave the service industry, and here we are. COVID. Anyway,
never going back.
Great year. Terrible.
Really was. Honestly, though, and I've said this before. Yeah, a lot of terrible things happened. I am not pretending like that is not true. But I think this is the most significant and important year that we have ever lived through.
Yeah. We've gone through changes and we've adapted accordingly. And but we were going through all these things with that in mind of what we can name ourselves. And I don't know why this name came to mind or who said it first, but sacrificing our souls.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because we felt like that's what we were doing as servers.
Yes, exactly.
Sacrificing our souls.
So I think, yes, I was like, ooh, sacrificing our souls. And you're both like, ooh. And then Molly goes, SOS.
Yeah. And then we were like, but does it? And then we were hung up for a while on like, no, SOS is good and it's catchy and it's like a brand. Like, that's a good brand. But does it need to stand for something? Like, are we supposed to have it stand for something? Or does SOS in and of itself, we're like, that is the internationally recognized call for help.
Yeah.
And so that's when we realized, like, oh, it doesn't have to stand, it doesn't be an acronym. It's just like it already means what it means.
You have creative control as a listener to make it mean whatever you want it to mean. There's so many different ways.
And kind of like, because the point is, our point was like kind of the human experience, which is so vast but SOS is an internationally recognized call for help, no matter where you live, no matter what culture you're from. And so what we try to do is like bridge everybody. I don't care who you are. If you're like the richest white man who's like a racist motherfucker, or you're like a kid in India who never has owned shoes, like literally anybody in their relative experience has had an SOS moment. And so the more we can talk to people about those, and even if you might not have their exact experience, the more you, like for me, the more I hear people talk about hard moments in their life and how they got through it, it gives me so much comfort every single time. It's not like, oh, I haven't been there because my mom hasn't died, or I haven't been there because I've never gotten fired. It's like, that's not even what it's about. It's about what happened to you that shook your life up, and how did you get through it? Because when we yeah, and when we all will come across more moments like that, and when we do, even if no one can help you get through it, it has to be yourself. Just the knowledge of like, so many people have gotten through this and more, and I will do the same.
Absolutely. Where do you, I mean, I'll answer too, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same answer. Where do you want, what 2021, what do you want the year to bring for our podcast?
I want to monetize this in a way that it really becomes like a steady stream of income for both of us. And that, that comes getting sponsors,
bigger guests.
I know it's not necessarily, get a bigger name guest so that we can actually expand our reach. That would really, really help. And that's the way I discovered a lot of my favorite podcasts, actually, is from other podcasts. And then like the guests that I heard that so-and-so was on this podcast, so I go listen to it, and then I keep listening to their podcast. Like, so I want to expand. I want to monetize it. I want to get sponsors. How about you?
Everything that you said. We have this thing, I think we got it from That's So Retrograde, the Manifest Destiny.
Yeah. Yes.
Great pod. And so we have like our Manifest Destiny for the year. And we just really, really would like to be able to talk to more people and to learn more and obviously make a little money about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Sponsor and then get more merch. That would be fun.
Yes. Oh, merch is coming 2021 at some point. We've decided. Yeah. And listen, guys, we're not talking like, I know people came to our launch party and really you're the real ones for real. And we had like ball caps with our logo, but here's the thing. With stickers. But like now that we're launched and we're a year in, and Alyssa and I, we love us some fashion. And this is not going to be some basic ass t-shirt with SOS on it bullshit. This is going to be some cute, intentional, designed, the good colors, the good fabrics, however we need to do it. We're going to make it cute so that you don't feel like you just have to buy it because you're our friend and rep SOS. It's something you would actually want to wear or use or whatever we decide to do. Trust, we are two aesthetic bitches, so.
Oh, we won't let you guys down when it comes to the merch.
No.
But guys, please just stay tuned to how we grow in the upcoming year. But we're so elated that we're here, and I mean, this isn't a surprise to either Molly and I. Like Molly said before, when people say lovingly, like, "Oh, I can't believe how consistent you guys are." Like, my first instinct is just be like, "What the fuck? Did you think I couldn't do it, bitch?" But I know they don't mean it that way. I think that it's just a lot of people just be like, "Oh yeah, I had a few episodes and then, it kind of just fell off." That's natural. But we really are passionate about this because this is just like, it's like a diary for us, and we get to share it with another person. It's an outlet. And we hope this inspires other people to, whenever they're thinking about something and they need that motivation, here it is. Here's your sign. Yeah. Do it. There's nothing to
honestly,
lose.
And the number of messages over the year that you and I have gotten, ranging from like, whether it's people we know or people we don't know, but like ranging from people in my parents' age, like in 40s, 50s, 60s, to like, I've heard from people in their 20s, a couple teenagers, and just to know, and based on whatever episode that really resonated with
different careers too, not even just artists,
different careers, men and women, like literally, I mean, the amount of people who resonate with these stories just gives me it really helps when you guys reach out and tell us that, because it keeps us going too, because we realize this is an expansive podcast, and if it can touch a man in his 40s, like a Latino man in his 40s who has a office job, and then like a white girl in her 20s who's going to college over Zoom. And like, I mean,
Yeah,
we're
anybody.
really, it's what we're trying to do is be that expansive. And then when we hear from you guys and we hear specifically what resonated with you and why, it also helps us. You can co-create this with us because when we know what you like to hear about or want to hear about or what you, we're here. We're all ears. So
we love you guys.
We love you.
So, we want to shout out, the Georgia runoffs coming up because it's really important that we stay engaged. And if you want to phone bank, do that. But if you're not comfortable phone banking or you don't know what your next steps are, here it is. And it's to focus on this project called Act Blue. So Reverend Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff can make history in their runoff elections on January 5th, 2021 by finally flipping Georgia blue. It's so important. We don't have a stimulus check right now because Mitch McConnell is a fucking demon. And he doesn't give a fuck about anything but his political power. He and the GOP are going to pour millions into Georgia to attack them. So they need generous grassroots support to help power their campaign. Please donate to Reverend Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff to help flip Georgia. So to learn more and donate, please visit actblue.com and then /donate if you're willing to donate as well. It's so important. Please follow their IGs and stuff like that too, so you can stay engaged and know what's going on because it's so important. We can get some progressive, my brain, blood policies through. Holy God!
Oh, I just said blood.
Past my bedtime.
Too.
Progressive blood policies.
I've been wanting some new progressive blood policies
this is
lately.
The gay
Where have they all been?
This is what they're all afraid of. The liberals and their progressive blood policies.
Their progressive blood policies. That's great.
Anyway.
Episode title. Just kidding.
We love you guys. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us. SOS with Molly and Alyssa on YouTube. Follow us on IG and Twitter at the SOS Pod. Subscribe to us on Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you find your podcast. We are there. So subscribe, rate, review. It helps us so much.
It does. It really does. And I'm Molly Cottrell.
I'm Alyssa Rosano. And here's to turning
into magic. 50 episodes in and we can't get rich.